Let's get ready to rumble!
Yo, I'm gonna put you on the spot now, bro. Roberto Duran versus Chavez Sr.
Woo, that's a tough fight, man. Tough fight, man, but I think Duran was the more skilled fighter. Tough fight, but I give it to Duran.
Big up 78 Sports TV. Now we go to Vinny Paz, who will definitely have some expertise on the lightweight division, being a former multiple weight world champion. So, Vinny, who would win?
Okay, go ahead.
Out of Roberto Duran and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.?
Oh boy, that's that's a rumble. That's a fight. Jeez, that's a tough one to pick because Roberto was like one of the greatest lightweights of all time. Julio Cesar Chavez speaks for himself. That's a tough fight, man. I don't know. I don't know who wins that one. I call that a draw.
Floyd Mayweather Sr., he's got Duran winning this one on points. I agree with that. The guy from Fight Hub, he said it would be a bloodbath, but people seem to think that Duran was this face-first slugger and he had all these wars. No, there wasn't many wars, actually, in his prime. There wasn't many wars. He used to brutalize people. And Ray Arcel done a great job. Duran's feinting, body shots, jab movement, the subtle head movement to slip punches. And I think what is most overlooked is his timing. His timing is just like impeccable. His timing. He had it all. He was just a class act. It wouldn't have been a bloodbath, in my opinion. I think Duran on points or late cuts, injury stoppage are the two likely scenarios.
Henry Armstrong?
Yeah.
Henry Armstrong versus Roberto Duran?
Yeah.
Fuck. That's a good one right there. Bruv, like, petrol emotion, like Henry Armstrong who doesn't take a back step coming forward. Shit, bro. Roberto Duran, he'd be trying to... Most fighters, they said back in the day, they was just trying to fend him off. I think Henry Armstrong, yeah, for he's like up. I think Henry Armstrong, like, he just, I think he would outwork Roberto Duran, but you couldn't just say, like, it's a mythical matchup. Like, you can go either way, but I think maybe Henry Armstrong. Henry Armstrong, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gans, and what about Gans? You know how good he was.
Gans, you see Gans, yeah, Gans was excellent at uses his reach. And I interviewed Colleen Elcott, who wrote a book. She wrote a book on Joe Gans and the Old Master. And she said, what Joe Gans used to do, he used to use terrific reach. Remember, the way he used to fight them, people used to fight that they were technically good. But Roberto Duran knew how to slip that. I think maybe because Roberto Duran was more modern day and thing, I think maybe he would have give Joe Gans problems, but whether Joe Gans would be able to adjust at that point, I'm not too sure. But I think maybe you'd give that to Roberto Duran. But I wouldn't go against Joe Gans though.
And 1/4 pounds, former lightweight champion of the world, Las Manos de Piedra, Roberto Duran.
First man to defeat Duran was Esteban de Jesus, a Puerto Rican fighter who Duran would go on to defeat twice and avenge that points loss. He was a great boxer puncher. He floored Duran. Floored him pretty heavily, actually. I watched the fight just recently, and on the broadcast, the guy said there was an alleged rumor that Duran didn't train for the fight, but who knows and who cares, really, you know. You can't take away De Jesus' moment. Great boxer. And Duran was the better boxer out of Chavez and himself. He was the better boxer. You know, the reputation for Duran getting in these wars, that didn't really start until he left the lightweight division and started climbing the weights. The first fight with Ray Leonard, which he won, that was a war. And it was a really good fight. He got soundly outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Then he lost to Kirkland Lang from the UK in an upset loss. The Pepino-Cuevas fight, that was a slugfest, and Duran just hammered him out quick. He didn't take much punishment. You know, Davey Moore, that was a slugfest. Really good fight as well. That was a bit of a war. The Marvin Hagler fight, a bit of a stalemate here and there. Thomas Hearns just brutalized him. You know, you can't really call that a war. It's just an annihilation, 2-round annihilation. The wars didn't really start until he fought Robbie Sims at middleweight. The Iron Barkley fight, that was a war. And the Pazienza fights, they were dire struggles. They didn't really come until he started losing his youth, you know, his obvious gifts. And he was known to be undisciplined in between fights. So he'd blow up. Around the mid to late 80s, he started seeing a little paunch around the stomach. But he was still very effective. But he wasn't that dude getting in wars in his prime. He wasn't that dude. It wouldn't have been a bloodbath. You know what I mean? Duran knew how to look after himself. What about Duran versus Mayweather? Do you think Mayweather would have a chance?
You gotta understand, like, I love Duran.
Okay, so... Okay.
And I don't see where Mayweather has the same, let me say, intestinal fortitude that Duran had. And I can't say that based on any experience because he's never had to show it like Duran did. You know?
Yeah.
Duran fought like freaking Carlos Palomino.
Yeah.
You know, when he was young, like, he fought legendary fighters when they were in their prime, and, you know. So it's really hard for Mayweather, in fairness to him, to say because he hasn't had an opportunity to fight the legends.
That's very true.
You know.
So who wins out of Duran versus Chavez Sr.?
I would say Duran at 135. At 140, I think it's a pick'em fight.
Why would you say a pick'em at 140?
Because Chavez had some of his biggest wins at 140 pounds. In his prime at 140, he looked like damn near unbeatable.
Yeah, Duran beat Leonard at 147, man.
Yeah, Duran beat Leonard at 147 because Leonard fought the wrong fight.
And if you think about it, Duran went way higher up in weight than Chavez. He won the middleweight title. Chavez maxed out at welter.
Yeah, but I think 140 was Chavez's big weight. I still pick Duran to beat him, but it won't be easy like people think it would be. I think it might be a split decision.
At what weight?
At 140.
Okay, 135. How would you see that?
Duran blows him out at 135. I think Duran, in my opinion, is the best lightweight ever.
Stoppage?
Stoppage, yes.
Wow. Okay. So who wins out of Duran versus Chavez Sr.?
From when we were just talking to Vinny Paz about the power, I think Roberto Duran, man. And he was talking about it allowed him to prolong his career all into the 40s. You're talking about from a lightweight all the way up into the middleweights, right? I think Roberto Duran, personally. That's my opinion. I think he would have carved him up. Chavez was very good defensively, but I don't think he hit anyone as hard as he was going to be hit. And he would be hit by Roberto Duran.
Duran versus Mayweather Jr. at lightweight.
At Duran versus Mayweather Jr. at lightweight, I think Duran beats Mayweather at lightweight.
Okay.
At welterweight, I got Mayweather.
They could even fight at light middle because Duran beat Davey Moore at light middle.
Yep. And at light middle, if you put light middle in there, I got Mayweather again. But at lightweight, Duran was a different kind of beast, man. I just don't see Mayweather dealing with that tenacity.
So basically, you're saying at the prime weight of lightweight, there's not much people who could beat Duran.
Not much people that could beat Duran.
Okay. That's Natty Turna, people. It's Natty Turna. Duran versus Mayweather Jr. It's going to seem like I'm copying out here, but I believe it wouldn't come down to one fight. I think the first fight they have would be an epic struggle, and I think it would go the distance. It would be so hard to prize them apart, more than likely. They'd have to have a series of fights, maybe 3 or 4 fights for someone to establish their superiority. I think it would be a classic trilogy. I don't know who'd get the better of it, to be honest with you. I don't know. Duran versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. at lightweight.
At lightweight, I would give that one to Duran. It would be a good fight, but based off of the lightweight performances that I've seen from Floyd against Castillo, I got to give that to Duran because I think Duran, like, I got to do it this way. if Duran was Castillo, he would have beaten Floyd, in my opinion, in lightweight. You know, I'm looking at it that way.
Well, Floyd, even now, he's unbelievable at his age of late 30s. But Floyd was just impossible to hit. You can't, when somebody is at the top of their game and they're impossible to hit, you can't beat them. You know, Roy Jones was there once. Hector Camacho was there once. You know, Mike Tyson was there once. Mayweather's a really tough guy to fight. He's really hard to beat when he's on the top of his game because you can't hit him. He's virtually unhittable. So I give a little edge to Mayweather always.
Wow, that's high praise. There was another great lightweight who was boxing around the time that you was, Pernell Whitaker. Do you think he'd have a shot at Duran? I know Duran's probably the greatest lightweight ever, but do you think Whitaker would have a shot?
Yeah, I mean, he was a very, very, very difficult guy to nail down, and I mean, he would just freaking, drive you crazy, tapping you all day long. I mean, again, I just guys like that, Duran seemed to just blow through,
Yeah.
He seemed to have a way to finesse his way in. If you weren't able to somehow keep him off with power, he seemed to, finesse guys never seemed to survive well. The younger Duran.
Yeah, he was definitely fearsome. Well, it seems unanimous that everybody has Duran as the #1 lightweight. Maybe Henry Armstrong and Joe Gans and them guys could compete. But
yeah. I mean, when I say what I said, think about the Virouette fight. I mean, that goes to show that Duran could be confused back then, but that was just such an anomaly. Yeah, that's a tough one, boy. Some great matchups.
Okay, well, we're grateful to have your insight, and grateful to have your insight. Yo, this has been a pleasure, Donny, man. It's been a pleasure.
Take care, likewise.
Yes.
Keep punching, guys. Keep. I really appreciate you supporting the game and doing. It's awesome.
Who wins out of Roberto Duran and Chavez Sr. at lightweight?
Man, Roberto. Too much technique, too much speed, too much inside game. He can match Chavez inside game. His footwork was better. His technique was better, and he's a freaking hands of stone.
Yep.
Roberto.
Okay. You've got no doubts about that at all, no? What about at welterweight and light welter? Same result?
Now I think about it, man, all three weight classes. Because even at light welter, where Duran never really campaigned, I think he beat Chavez, man. He's just an all-around better fighter than Chavez is.
Okay. What about...
The match I was thinking about was Alexo Guayo versus Roberto Duran. How you feel about that one?
I've been neutral so far. Who would I pick? I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a tough fight.
You know when I think about that freeweight champion, that beast, but he got beat by Aaron Pryor, but Roberto Duran versus Alexo Guayo is fucking sick.
That's sick.
That's sick. Similar. Similar.
Yeah. I actually asked who would win that one as well to some people. Once again, I see it being a trilogy, potentially. The first fight, razor-thin decision, controversial. They have to do it again, like Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. And that's how I'm going to cop out on that one. Floyd Mayweather versus Pernell Whitaker.
It's a good fight. It's a real good fight. That's a technical fight right there. Very technical. Wow, man. That's what weight class?
Lightweight.
Woo! Man. Oh, my goodness. That's a good fight. Shit, man. I think that Pernell... Damn, I think at that weight, both of them were a little busy, man. Both of them threw punches, man. It comes down to, who has the better defense, man. I'm not sure, man. I'm really... Damn, I can't pick a winner in that fight. Honestly, I can't.
You can't split.
I'm thinking... Yeah, I can't. Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm gonna go with Sweet Pea at 135, but if a fight is above, I'll take Floyd, like at 147. But at 135, I'm picking Sweet Pea to beat Floyd by split decision.
Okay.
So who had the better defense? I see
Got scored by Roger Mayweather.
Yeah, I know by Roger, but what about Freddie Pennington? Did he put him on the deck as a lightweight?
I think that was a slip. I think that was a slip.
It might have been a slip. Kris committed to Whitaker. He committed to Whitaker. I don't know how to split him.
I don't, man. I try. I'm thinking. I can see the fight being so technical that it's a dispute. All right. I think it's going to be a dispute over who won the fight. All right. Regardless of who they give the decision to, I think it's going to be a dispute because I don't think either guy is offensive enough to take charge of the fight. And,
who's better offensively at 135?
I think Sweet Pea was more defensive at that stage.
I think he was too.
No, offensive. I'm saying offensive.
Oh, offensive.
I think Floyd was more. I think Floyd threw more punches at the lightweight class.
I think he did. I think Floyd was more capable of stopping his man than Purnell was.
Yeah, he was. He got most of his knockouts at the lower weights.
Yeah. Very hard one. It's a very hard one. I think.
But
Whitaker may edge it. It's tight. May edge it on defense. Floyd on offense. It's a tight one. Skills. It's hard to say. Hard to say. All right. So we still making up. Kris is the only one that's commit. You're not going to commit 78.
Man. I mean, I'll just pick somebody, man. I'll pick Whitaker.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna offset it. I'm gonna give Floyd a shot at it. Split decision. I'll offset it with that. 2-1. 2-1 is fair. Duran versus Mayweather Jr.
What weight class?
Lightweight or welterweight?
Welterweight, I think Florida beat Duran at 147.
Okay.
Because he ain't going to fight the same fight Leonard for it.
Okay.
But at the lighter weights, I think Duran has a chance because people, they don't remember, Duran was fast as hell at 135. And fought better competition. And when I'm looking at the fight that he had with Manuel Augustus, that tough fight, if he was fighting Duran would have beat Floyd in that night.
You reckon?
Yes, he would have at 135.
Okay. I mean, they could have fought all the way up to light middle because Duran won the light middleweight title against Davey Moore.
But Florida beat him. I think at a higher weight. I think the only chance Duran beats Floyd would probably be at 135.
But so you're saying at the prime weight, Duran beats Chavez and Mayweather at the prime weight?
Yes. Yeah, I think he can.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the fights Floyd had at 135. I ain't going to, for all the people out there, I'm not like y'all. I ain't no bandwagon motherfucker. I'm going by what I seen. I'm going by the fights I seen in my hand. I think Emmanuel Augustus, if that was, I'm looking picture in my head, the tough fights he had at 135, if that was Duran would have beat the hell out of Floyd that night.
Wow. Okay. It's Kris Caban bringing the realness there. But you see, the thing is, people talk about that Emmanuel Augustus fight, Kris, yeah? But I was looking at Emmanuel Augustus' feet, and I was looking at Rigondeaux when he was training, and their knees bend exactly the same way. So Augustus was a special talent. It's only he didn't put it all together, late notice fights, and maybe he was just a bit too happy-go-lucky, wrong management. But that guy was a special talent, man.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was good too, but I'm just saying at lightweight, Duran might be the great. To me, Duran is the greatest lightweight of all time. I think Floyd fought better as he moved up, but I think at lightweight, I just don't think he can compete with Duran at lightweight.
Duran versus Alexis Arguello.
Duran knocks him out.
Duran knocks out Arguello at lightweight?
Yeah, lightweight, he knocks him out.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Arguello, I respect him. He's gonna give Duran problems, but Duran is gonna get to him.
Wow.
He's gonna get behind that. He's gonna get past that jab.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to go for the killers then, man. I'm gonna have to go for the absolute killers. So what about Henry Armstrong versus Duran at lightweight?
Oof. That's gonna be a broad. That's a pick'em fight. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go with Duran too, though. I'm gonna go with Duran.
I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go with the hammer. I'm going with Armstrong. I'm going Armstrong on that one.
That work rate is hard to cope with, man. Even Duran was
Duran
struggling.
had a lot of work rate at 135 though, Beats. He was constantly
not
throwing
like
punches.
Armstrong. Not like Armstrong.
Not like Armstrong, and what is he gonna do when that he's being matched?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you see, Armstrong would take your right hand away, get underneath your shots, and pound you up.
I gotta go with Armstrong in that matchup. I mean, I still got love for Duran at lightweight, but I gotta go with Armstrong in that one.
Wow. Okay, so I mean Armstrong, and big guns, man. I don't know how. Well, Joe Gans. It's hard for us to tell. We didn't see much film, but I suppose Joe Gans, at least theoretically, would have to give anybody a match at lightweight.
Based on the legend.
Yeah. And some of the film footage I see, dude wasn't no joke. Dude wasn't no joke, man. Great jab. I mean, shoulder roll, pull counters. He was doing the whole lot, man. He was doing the whole lot.
Shoulder roll didn't get invented in 1996, man.
No, it sure didn't. It sure didn't. Pernell Whitaker versus Chavez Sr.
Well, boy, Chavez has got to chase him. You got to catch him. And you see the way Meldrick Taylor was outboxing him easily. If Meldrick Taylor stayed away, he won it by running away. I think Floyd would have beat him on points. You got to say Chavez was in his prime when he faced Meldrick Taylor. Meldrick Taylor, it's only because he's from Philly, he chose to exchange him and he was getting catch at the same time. Granted, Chavez could, he had the right defense, but he's too quick. I don't know if Meldrick Taylor was quicker than Floyd, but you're dealing with speedsters. And I think Floyd would have kept to the game plan and probably outpointed Chavez.
Okay, we got the former WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Donny Lalonde, and we're going to ask him this. Who would win out of Roberto Duran and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.?
What a great fight. I'm just such a Duran, such a believer. Okay, wait. What year Duran?
They'd both be at lightweight.
Pre-Leonard or post?
Yeah, pre-Leonard. Let's say pre-Leonard, yeah.
What a crazy fight, eh?
Yes.
I mean, I just have to go with Duran. But, I mean, like, in a really tough fight to pick.
As the trainer works on him, Ike seems to have figured his opponent out fairly well, but Cardell showed an amazing ability to take the good punches as thrown by Ike Williams there.
You know, another lightweight champion who slept on is Ike Williams.
Oh, yeah, Ike Williams as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ike Williams was strong.
Yeah,
he was really good as well. He was very strong. And Ike Williams was good. I don't know too much. I haven't watched too much on Ike Williams, but what the fight I did watch, he looked like saying he was marked. Them times the guys he was fighting, he was leagues above them. It would have been very interesting. Roberto Duran versus, he was very strong. But you know the level like what you forgot about is Sandy Sadler, right? He's got the second most highest knockout percentage in boxing history. The Archie Moore's #1.
As a lightweight. So, his best win was really against at featherweight, wasn't it? He was a featherweight, right?
He's still got the most knockouts ever in boxing, second to Archie Moore.
But is he a lightweight though? Is he a genuine?
Yeah, it was lightweight. Yeah.
Well, he beat Pepper at feather.
Yeah, but the last one they had was at lightweight.
Okay.
Yeah, he had 4 fights. The last 2 was at lightweight, and that's where lightweight where he made his name for himself, like round lightweight. He could fight. I think personally, like again, Roberto Duran again, Roberto Duran, like I can't get over what Vinny just said to us, like the video. We just had an interview a couple of less than half an hour ago. I can't get over the power he was generating. And I think if he smacked any of them guys we're talking about in the face, it'd have been. Listen, they're in trouble, bro. The man hit hard, and he was defensively very good. Roberto Duran, he could match up anyone. I remember I talked to Steve a lot. He said pound for pound, Roberto Duran's one of the best ever. And this is coming from Bert Sugar, Bill Caton. It's coming from all the greats back down there.
You don't think Pernell Whitaker could outpoint him?
Pardon?
You don't think Whitaker could outpoint him?
No. We could because he could. He could. But what we're talking about, we're only talking about this probably could outpoint him because you see, mate, he could be outpointed. But at that lightweight, no one was at a lightweight. I don't know how many slicks he fought down at lightweight. Jesus was pretty slick though. I don't know. At lightweight, we're talking about it. That was when he was bad, prime. It's like Ray Robertson when he was a welterweight. We never saw. People saw him. They said that guy was a beast, snarling beast at lightweight. No doubt.
All right. Benny Leonard, I didn't really ask the guys to match up any fights with Benny Leonard because I can't validate a lot of his opposition, really. I know guys like Johnny Dundee were good fighters, Johnny Kilbane, Freddie Welsh. Benny had 85 victories, 69 KOs, 5 losses, drew once. 121 no decisions. That's what boxing was like back then. That's what I'm saying. Go look at the box rec and you'll get more of a grasp on an old boxer's record rather than saying, well, he hasn't got a whole load of victories. Go look it up. Go look up the no decision system in old school boxing before you start judging the records. Back then, a lot of fights that went the distance, they just weren't registered as wins. No decisions. The newspapers actually used to render unofficial decisions. BoxRec actually sometimes used them unofficial verdicts from newspapers to compile their BoxRec records. So when you're looking at BoxRec, look for newspaper decisions, and you can take it from there and do some research. So how would you tackle Mayweather? How would you tackle Floyd if you was to fight him?
You just gotta fight a real rough fight against him. You gotta try and throw things that he wouldn't expect. You gotta lead off with different punches. You just gotta fight a real rough fight against him, and you gotta stay busy because he's just so hard to hit. You know, he's so hard to hit. It's you can't beat what you can't hit.
Excellent, man. That's Vinny Pazienza, people. That's a multiple weight champion's opinion there. So get to know. Okay, I appreciate it, Vinny.
This is Amir Hardcore Mansour on Boxing Beats and Rhymes YouTube channel. Tune in because this is the place to be, man, all the time.
Okay, this has been my lightweight special, our lightweight special, you know. I tried to get various opinions of YTBC pundits and actual boxers. If you disagree or agree, it's no big deal. Comment and definitely subscribe to the channel, Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Peace.